GM, trade of the day, Tuesday, 5th of March, and funding rates are at insane levels that I've never seen funding rates this high with open interest this high. Where across the market you're just seeing 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. Look at shape, 0.5% funding. For reference, neutral is 0.01. So that is 50 times higher. So the market is full retard, but to have never seen this at these levels with this price, it tells me that something different is happening, right? The last time it was like this was in April 2021, but open interest was nowhere close. So I'll show you now in a sec. We can get this back on. Just put on the funding and open interest across the market. Fucking just wild. Wild, wild, wild. Now, go to the daily, zoom out on it. Last time we saw funding at these levels was over here. But when we were there, the altcoin OI was only 4.5 billion, and then it was 9 billion. It's now 20 billion, give or take. So we are 5 times higher than it was in February 21, and we are double what it was in April in terms of the actual OI, which means there's going to be a lot of leverage too. A lot of perps. The average leverage on perps is not zero. There's always some leverage that's been used whenever perps are running. And the rate of change is rapid, right? We've just been ramping, and boom, away it goes, especially as Bitcoin failed its first all-time high attempt. Altcoins are just getting absolutely sent. So overall, weekly outlook, I talked about this. When you zoom out, all the altcoins are at good levels. None of the altcoins are at historically overextended, except maybe some of the meme coins, which are in parabolic runs. But most alts are breaking out of consolidations, or if you look at total 3, the whole market's kind of grinding up. So that's good. But funding, funding is all right as long as price is going up. That's how funding works. People are paying crazy amounts to hold their longs open. As long as prices keep going up, it's worth paying that. But like I said on daily levels, we could see a scenario where Bitcoin, let's say it just goes between 60 or maybe 58 or whatever. I'm not going to say like any predictions of price necessarily, but let's say that Bitcoin spends a couple of weeks here, right, where it has to trade and chop around the all-time high, and it goes down as far as there and back up as far as here, and then it breaks out. In those couple of weeks, if altcoins aren't going up, people are not going to pay crazy levels of funding for 2-3 weeks. They will end up closing, and that will cause a flush. So this is excellent if you're a spot buyer, you're waiting, you're chilling, you'll get some good entries, most likely, unless Bitcoin can just rip to new highs, which it might. But I have a slight concern on that too, because if you remember, I was talking about this is a spot-led rally for Bitcoin for sure. But right now, as we go towards where we're at today, so from the lows in January up to actually this breakout here, we saw to the closes a 57% increase in open interest, and we saw a 62% increase in price. So Bitcoin from the post ETF lows up to this 62 level, that first big leg, or the first leg and the second leg, open interest wasn't rising faster than price, which generally indicates a strong spot market. Now, since then, since that point where open interest was here, OI is up by 17%, and price from that daily close is up currently 6%, right, to where we are right now. So open interest is outpacing price. When that's happening towards a high after a one-sided extended rally, the leverage is coming in here. There's no doubt. People are trying to chase down leverage. Talked about this in daily levels. They're thinking there's a free trade to all-time highs. They're getting levered up on altcoins because they think Bitcoin's going to just break out and go to 80 or 90 or 100 and no pullbacks and we all get rich. I don't know. I would lean towards some nasty sell-off, some big wick coming, some big liquidation. And if it happens, I'm ready for it. If it doesn't happen, I'm sitting in spot anyway. So we have the best of both worlds. We're spot long, we're chilling. We're sitting back patiently waiting for some kind of carnage to unfold if you see some nice deep wicks. There's plenty of alts that look good though, right? I was showing like DYDX. Like this chart, even though funding's super high, DYDX is putting in a really nice base since November, December, January, February, right? We're talking a 3 month base here. And it's had its push down and liquidation candle, sideways, consolidating, holding, moving up, moving up, moving up. Maybe it doesn't break out right away now, but the charts like this, certain coins, they don't look overbought by any means. They're actually just building up nice long-term bases ready to break out. On the other hand, you've got like, some altcoins that are in undeniable parabolic uptrends, which are starting to lose momentum. And although SHIB might go higher, it's unlikely with the levels of funding that if it doesn't keep going higher, are people going to keep paying it? Are people going to keep paying 0.5%? So 1.5% a day just to hold their position open? That's insane. If SHIB went sideways for 10 days, you'd lose 15% of your trade value just by holding it open. Crazy, right? That's hundreds of percent APY if you're talking about over a year. That's 500% plus per year. It's mental. So people aren't going to do that. They're not going to pay so much just to be long. And the inevitable reaction function of that is we go down. And it's when it goes down and sideways, right, that people look at it and think, oh, I'm holding SHIB, but as long as it goes up and then it doesn't go up, then I need to close. Loads of people need to close all at once, and then down it goes. And at that point, then SHIB has broken its parabola. And when it's broken the parabola, it's just not going to go higher, right? The market will then move on to other things. This doesn't mean the market's bearish if that happens. It just means, look at this. This is a parabolic pump. First leg up, second leg up, third leg up. Everything from just look at the 1 hour shows it nice and cleanly, right? Price grinds up. So there's your first move up. It moved up from 0.09 to 0.14, up about 50-60%. Second leg up, more impulsive, nice move, consolidate. Third leg, the biggest leg, the accelerating blow off top leg. I mean, I'm looking at this and saying SHIB's done. On the low time frame, SHIB's done. Can it go higher? Sure. But that would be not the expectation. So to be long SHIB here makes no sense. If you hold SHIB from lower and you want to keep holding it for the bull market, sure. But to be long here on SHIB doesn't make any sense. We're looking at Pepe, right? We're looking at the memes that everyone's been talking about memes now for like a week. But all the memes are doing the same thing. 1 leg, 2 leg, 3 legs with a big extended third leg above all-time high, went about doubled its all-time high. And, best case scenario for something like this would be some sideways. Because then when you zoom out on a daily, this is potentially just the second leg. And could Pepe go sideways for a couple of weeks and then go higher? Absolutely. But to me, I'm just looking at it and saying, why would I continue to hold perp futures longs open, paying massive funding, when these things have had they've had their big move? Pepe has gone, 10x off the lows by this point, 10x off the lows in an asset that's now worth billions of dollars. Like, that's a big move. So I just don't see the value in continuing to hold these ones. But you have other coins, if money then rotates back into, value, if you will call it that, or good projects, if you'll call it that, if there is such a thing. A lot of this stuff, like Chainlink, doesn't look to be oversold or overbought, sorry. Solana seems to be pretty healthy there. Injective, right? There's a bunch of charts that look fine. They're consolidating. They're building multi-week or multi-month bases. But for me, the focus is Bitcoin. It all depends on what Bitcoin's going to do over the next few weeks, or whatever, over the next week or the rest of this week. Maybe the ETF FOMO is so strong that they're going to come in and rip another $500 million of net inflows and we're going to go to new highs. Absolutely could happen. But the problem is, as soon as we hit all-time high, people are going to stop buying, not start. And I'm talking low time frame. I said this before. Why are you buying here? You're buying here. You're buying in all these areas because we're below all-time high. The goal for everyone is to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible below all-time high, right? Then we hit it. People will stop buying. They're like, okay, 70, cool. I'm going to wait, right? I've accumulated a bunch of Bitcoin. I'm not going to sell here because I want it to go to 100, but I'm not going to buy. And if people just stop buying, then it might drop back. And then you've got leverage added on top, and that's where you get the flushes. But then it drops back to 60, and people are like, cool, get a chance to buy Bitcoin again below all-time high. Let's do it. Let's buy it. Let's buy it. Let's buy it. Oh, I'm going to stop buying. And we drop back. Right? And then we go up again, buying and buying and buying. And then eventually, because Bitcoin should be higher, it breaks out. That's the kind of thing I'm looking at. Not this exact path, but think of the logic. I would not buy above all-time high. Most people will not buy above all-time high. We will buy below all-time high. We will accumulate more because that's the game on Bitcoin. You want to fill your bags below all-time high, and then once it breaks out with a clean impulse and goes higher, you want to just let it do its thing. But this is like we're still so early and so far ahead of where we usually are, right? We're in February. We're still like 6 weeks from the halving, and we're nearly at all-time high. If this went sideways or down or corrected for weeks on end, it wouldn't surprise at all. The market has gotten into this reflexive thinking, and it's the same people, right? The same people who said that the ETF would sell the news are now saying, new paradigm, Bitcoin is going to fucking all-time highs right now, today. So, I would be fading that. I would say I don't want to be on the same side as the people who were wrong all the way. And the people I see who are wrong all the way are starting to capitulate. Right? The bears, the perma bears, because we're literally touching all-time high, the perma bears have got almost no bearish thesis left, and they're starting to capitulate. They're like, well, guess we're going up, because we are going up. But are we going up right now, or is Bitcoin going to have a bit more short-term pain for people first? Either way, I'm happy. I'll fill my bags. Spot bags loaded. If we break out and go to fucking 100K, happy as anyone. If not, I'm ready for that too. So, GM, keep an eye out on that. I think the leverage build up, the open interest, we've finally seen leverage now leading to where, Bitcoin, I think if I've gotten Velo, obviously, so the leverage is outpacing the price. If you're looking on the lower time frames here, this is Binance on the left, Bybit in the middle, OKX on the right. And so now we're seeing in this phase here, since we broke out of this pennant, right? Since we broke out of here, you're seeing big ramp ups of open interest. You're seeing 4.6, you're seeing $1 billion added on Binance. You're seeing 3.3 to 3.9, 600 million added on Bybit, and you're seeing 500 million added on OKX. With record high funding rates, super high funding rates, big per premium, right? There's no spot premiums here. This is not spot led in terms of this phase of the market. This is being led by futures. You're seeing price showing weakness here. It's showing a rounded out top. Yeah, I'm just not one to say I would be getting long here, and I don't see how anyone would sensibly be getting long here. And I think we're just basically relying on the ETF buyers to keep buying us beyond all-time high. I just don't really see why anyone would be pushing really hard to break out beyond that. It doesn't look like there's a lot of shorts. There always are shorts, right? Even when funding's positive, there's obviously still people shorting it. That's more low time frame stuff. But I think the market probably wants to punish. I would guess it wants to punish some of these latecomers a little bit more first. And I would feel most confident if we took out that low. Or we tried to go again, but we failed. And we actually start to build a base there. If we start to move like that, I'll say, yeah, that low's holding. Let's get add longs, boom, away we go. But that'll take some time. So we'll see. That's it. GN.